but they're going to have a stable coin to release their CBDC, right? So inventing a new CBDC like a US dollar
you're not going to do it.
So they're going to adapt.
Yeah, they got
USDC.
to take over. They're going to do the American thing and go take over something that's already established.
Biggs and Boggs.
Oh, hey guys, and welcome back to your future channel, Biggs and Boggs. I'm Marty Boggs.
And I'm Julian Biggs.
And we have Spencer on sound and screens with us today. So thanks for joining us, folks. We like to come at you about once a week or so and talk about some subjects that we do believe will benefit your future hand. So smash that like button, subscribe if you're new, and let's get right into it. What are we up to today, and how can we plan for tomorrow? Julian.
Lots to talk about today. We don't know if we're going to cover everything, but stick around and find out. We got the rise of AI and their tokens. They are going crazy. So this is a lot of speculation. We're going to talk about that. I'm going to reiterate what's going on with the psychology in these trades because we're at a fandangle in the market here. No one's really sure if we're going up or down. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the USA possibly extorting some of these exchanges. They're kind of shutting down staking on some exchanges, which is insane to me in the land of the free. So yeah, we're going to get into it with a little bit of a market scope here first.
Cool, market scope.
Markets go. Okay, so Bitcoin, US dollar on the daily time frame. What is going on here? We hit that nice high of $24,264 approximately, somewhere around there. Everyone was hoping for 25K, but we can see we had the bear div that did play out. We had this kind of blow off top, and that gave us a signal that we were going to kind of at least cool off, if not reverse this trend and head into some bearish prices. So we want to cover.
Well, we got a bunch of FUD coming out, right? So they see the price start going up, and they're like, "Oh no, we got to get on this. We got to slow this down."
Exactly, some good FUD. So but the thing is, they pushed this 40, whatever it was, 40% first to this 20K level here, right? And then, like I said, we have the market makers move and then the retailers move, right? So this line comes from the market makers top. This line comes from the second and kind of fake top before the bearish divergence from the 69K high. So. This is where I'm saying we could either have this bear trap scenario on the daily chart, but if we go over to the weekly chart, it actually looks like it could be a bull trap. So this would be the larger trend coming from the 69K high and just breaking, and this could be a continuation of the major bear trend that we've had for the last year.
Right. So we go back down to maybe 19K.
Right. Exactly. Right. So giving all these gains back and coming back into this range,
which would basically liquidate all those realtor or the retail market.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. Everyone that's hyped in now. So,
yeah.
Like I said, this is where we want to talk about the psychology again and to be on the right side of these trades. So we marked bottom here. We called bottom. We called the reversal point, and we got into some trades, into some long positions. And, I talked about in one of my updates there about potentially hitting 24.5K and wanting to shell some profits out of this thing before it was coming back down. That's exactly what I did. I'm not very specific on what we do here or what I do here because this is not financial advice, and I really don't want to be the cause of somebody losing some money based on something that I said.
But it's so simple, right? It's buy low, sell high.
Exactly.
And if you're dollar cost averaging in, say you're dollar cost averaging in the whole time, right? The whole time we're going down. If you dollar cost average out after that huge pump, you're taking the profits from your DCAs that you did in the 16s and the 17s, right?
Right.
So that's where you're realizing your gains there. You're still holding on to the other Bitcoin that you bought at higher prices, waiting to sell that for higher prices, right?
Absolutely.
That's why we DCA, because we DCA in and we DCA out, and that's how you realize those gains.
So this is why I want to talk about these kind of conflicting signals on the charts, because on the weekly, it looks like it could be like what they're calling the real bull trap. Like all these bears move the goalpost all the way up to 24K from 16K. You know what I mean? Saying this was the bull trap, but you got to think like a 45% gain, man. Like that's no little bull trap. You know what I mean? Like that was an awesome trade, and now we're at this point where they've hyped a bunch of people into the market. And
it was a parabolic move. It was a perfect parabolic move. It's a
parabolic move, and the thing is that they caused this, right? Consolidate here, bounce off the ray, and I've found that most of these trends are also in rays. They're not actually trend lines like we think. They start from one point and kind of spotlight out. So, and it was bang on. Like when we broke down this orange line, confirmed it here, and then a massive free fall after that. So, I'm pretty solid on this theory of mine here. But what we do is they caused this move, right? So they loaded up. They did it so quick that, if you blinked, you missed it, basically, in those first few days.
Less than a week.
Right? It was crazy. 27% in that week, I think it was. And then we had a little bit of a bullish consolidation, reconfirm this line here, and then we move it up again. Now, this is the place where the market makers it's going up enough that they can safely unload their positions into the market without you thinking they're dumping it on you, right? So this got everybody hyped. They can unload their early positions into the market. Retail brings it up, and then, of course, it doesn't have enough strength to continue, and now we're getting this bearish price action.
Yeah, so we see on Market Cypher B that money is leaving. The money flow is starting to come out, and so the price has to correct.
Right, and so this is obviously, what we're seeing here is obviously the dollar pump. So here's the U.S. dollar, and of course this thing's pumping a bit because people are taking their profits from the financial markets now, and of course the dollar is going to get a little bit of relief. So we're at this key level here of approximately 103 and a few decimal points here, but
and they're probably going to try and push it to 105.
And they're probably going to try and push it up here to 10. Yeah, but 105 is the top of this move. If we go to the wick high, it's probably just over. So these are the things that I'm watching for right now. So this week, what we have coming out is the CPI and inflation numbers will come out this week. So we want to be paying attention to that and what's going on there, because it's going to give us a forecast between now and the end of, I'd say, the spring maybe, of what to expect for between now and the next few months.
But before summer happens,
right?
Because
so,
everybody takes summer off.
Over at the SPX, it's funny because I talk about the correlation in these markets, and I can't really pinpoint how I see it yet. And I talk about how it seems like one's leading the other, but then
then it flips.
But then it flips. So Bitcoin last week led the market. It came down first, and then the SPX actually fandangled the last update I was talking about coming back into this red area here. And sure enough, that day it happened. We pumped back up, but little blow off wick, and then it came down. So following Bitcoin, and Bitcoin broke down first. So now we're in this part where the SPX is now breaking its daily trend here, right? I mean, depending on where you put this line.
So basically,
I think I put that on the weekly.
Basically, what's happening is the patient are sitting back and waiting for the impatient to make a move.
Right. So if I put that on the candle closes there, that is still
slam them.
That is still technically a higher low, right? And on its way back up on Friday, right? So on the SPX, we do still have a higher low, indicating that this has a high probability to go back up again this week, unless they dump it on you, right? And I think that we will see some more pump leading to the CPI meeting and the inflation numbers. And then if the dump is coming, that's, in my opinion, probably when it will. So, we had a hard bottom there at 21,468, I think was the bottom there. And it's now back up to what, 22K?
Well, I mean, even in my opinion and a lot of other people's opinion, Bitcoin is still cheap right now. So it's a fight, right? They're fighting. Like, a lot of people want it to come back down. A lot of people want to sell. They want to push the price back down, right? Because they took their profits. Now they want to push the price back down so that they can get back in at lower prices, right? But we're starting to see retail and not only retail, but other just institutions and everything. People are just getting to the panic buy that we've been talking about for the last 6 months is happening right now. It's a fight between the bears and the bulls, and the bears are starting to realize, like, shit, we're running out of steam here. Like, we're running out of power to be able to move these markets. Like you talk about, they don't care about what the price is. They care about what they can do to it. They
need to be able to push it to the liquidity pools.
And they're starting to lose power into pushing it down because so many people and there's so many more exchanges. There's a new exchange every day. There's so many more people getting into this market. There's so much more money coming into this market that they're starting to lose the ability to be able to push this price down. And people know, and especially if you've been in Bitcoin for more than 3-4 years, you know that it's cheap right now. You're DCA, and everybody's been DCAing for the last 6 months.
Well,
right?
and that's why people are holding. They'll hold their longs, even though they, some of the traders that I watched, they went long, like your guy. I don't know if we can say his name there, but Jason Casper there, whatever.
Old
JC, like, he caught the bottom and he's still holding that long, looking to add more because he knows, like, there's not much underneath.
Yeah. Well, and actually, if you pull up the volume, can you pull up the volume on that? The fixed volume price action range or whatever it's called there, VPR or whatever. There is a massive shelf underneath us right now because we've been trading because we traded sideways before FTX in this range. Right. There is so much volume and support, right? Like, just literally hundreds of dollars beneath us that it's like, I would be quite surprised if we broke down into it. And it kind of steps down too, and the biggest one being at 19, and then if you go past that, then it's 16. 16, but still, like if you look at the volume range profile, there is so much support just right beneath us that it's not going to be a quick move, I think, if we go down, because there's so many orders and stuff down there. Like they're going to have to do a whole lot of selling to push the price down. It's going to take a lot, and I just don't think they have it. I just don't think they have the power to do that anymore, because as time goes on and as Bitcoin gets into more hands, it's going to be harder to move the price, and this is what's happening. We're now 12 plus years into this existence of Bitcoin, into this community, which Bitcoin is. It's totally a community, and people are realizing it's like, hey man, like they missed the bottom. Like if you weren't DCAing in the last few months, like you better get on it. And everyone's like, shit, it's FOMO. It's setting in. Maybe prices go a little bit lower. Personally, I was waiting for a little bit lower too, but now I'm kicking myself. It's like, damn, I was going to DCA on Friday like I normally do. But I was like, I'll see how the weekend goes. And sure enough, damn, she's pumped another $500-$600.
This is why, I might do a little more, maybe just on my trade setups, and then people can kind of, make their own decisions. Because like I said, this is not financial advice, but I mean, I played longs all the way up to the top, like literally the very top. And then I trade for Bitcoin. So I sold most of the Bitcoin that I made in profit at the 24K top. And then at 23, I think it was 23,400, I think. I put in a short, right? I rode that short, and I closed early because I really didn't expect this free fall. I closed around 22.5.
It's hard to short Bitcoin right now. I
It
don't
is.
feel good shorting. I felt all good last year. All last year, I felt fine shorting Bitcoin. I did it a ton because I knew what was going to happen. I've been through a couple cycles. I was totally comfortable doing it. Now I am not comfortable shorting Bitcoin.
Yeah, no.
Because if one guy comes in with a DCA, $1 million DCA, you're going to get liquidated like that.
That free fall would have been a nice short. Like I only took it to 22.5, like I said.
But still, then look at that candle. Look at that red candle compared to all those green candles.
Yeah, and then I actually did take the long back off bottom. But again, another trade I closed early when we got back to the resistance here. I closed up. But
reason being, anyways, let's get profits profit. Let's get into it though. Reason being, we've had some FUD come out about staking. So why do you think they're doing that, Julian? What do you think's going on there?
They don't want you to own anything and have that opportunity to gain wealth, okay? You can't tell me it's the land of the free if they're going to shut down your ability to make your own decisions with your own money. Like, who gives them that power and that right to do that, right?
We are creating platforms to be able to sustain ourselves, to sustain our wealth, and they are trying to say, hey, you can't do that.
We know that the FTX collapse was intermingled with whatever BS you want to call it or put this on. Look what happened to Bitcoin right after that happened. They crashed it, right? From the FTX collapse, everyone thought Bitcoin was dead, and then wham, January 1st rolls around, they pump it up 45%. Why would they want to hold on to so much of it and limit your ability to gain access to it or get the advantages from staking on some of these exchanges, right? Who are they to say what you can do with your fucking money? Also, Central Bank of America, like people were having trouble getting their money out, right? And, so anyway, we're going to the stable coins. We're talking about the FUD here. And I honestly just think that this is the U.S. economy trying to hold power of currency. Yeah. And they have to do that while we flip into this kind of digital era. Yeah, right?
Exactly.
So what's going to be the CBDC of America? What's the most commonly used stablecoin in America on Coinbase?
It'd be Tether, I guess.
It's USDC. So Tether is number one in the world.
Okay.
But in the USA, Tether is second, right? So I almost guarantee they're going to fucking ban shit like that. They'll ban BUSD. Well, you can't even use Binance in the US, so it doesn't matter. But they're going to want it to be USDC, right? So USDT is going to get banned in the US.
But either way, it's built on Ethereum.
That's fine. So Ethereum will get registered as a security.
Yeah.
That's great because they need something to attach to themselves. They can't do it with Bitcoin because Bitcoin's its own fucking organism.
Yeah, nobody can touch Bitcoin.
So Ethereum could be the hub or whatever, but they're going to have a stable coin to release their CBDC, right? So inventing a new CBDC like a US dollar fucking
you're not going to do it.
So they're going to adapt.
Yeah, they got to take over. They're going to do the American thing and go take over something that's already established.
Binance has followed everything they've had to do to stay in regulation or regulatory, and get to where they are today in other locations. They aren't using it in the U.S. because the U.S. it's not
it's
an American.
A threat. It's a threat to them. They don't want it in their
monetary policy, right? So
why would anybody use the U.S. dollar?
So this is the thing, is like, is Binance at risk because of this, though? Because the U.S. is a fucking demon, and they're going to try and crush anything.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody's at risk. There's a lot of people that talk about it too. It's like even Bitcoin itself, people think that America will crush it eventually because that's what America does.
Right.
But honestly, I mean, this might, I think America is meeting its match with Bitcoin.
Well, it's not even that it's meeting its match. It's like, it's a huge threat to the monetary policy, absolutely, but it's like the U.S. economy is just on the brink of collapse. Like, it would have fucking been happening regardless.
Well, yeah, it's,
you know
it's a
like,
Ponzi scheme bubble that should have popped numerous times over and over, and they keep patching it and doing all this crap, adding more money, and it's just like
they could fucking
a shit show.
They could put Bitcoin to zero, which would never happen. But they could do that, and the U.S. economy would still be fucking collapsed.
So yeah, that's something that we could very possibly see, a black swan event where all markets dump, you know, 50%, 60%, something like that.
Yeah.
But then what's going to happen after that? All those people that are sitting there knowing it's going to happen because they're setting it up are going to scoop it all up.
They're going to wait, right?
They're going to scoop it all up.
If we're smart and we're taking our profits at the highs because we dollar cost average and we take out where we have to and we put back in where we have to, we're going to still end up on the positive side of this thing, right? So we know that Bitcoin's not going anywhere. Otherwise, it would have already. There's a lot of the dinosaurs out there that tell you that if Bitcoin's going to zero, it never can. It's impossible for that to ever happen because 13% of it's lost. So at least 13% of it would always be in circulation, right? So,
but the more the address wallets are increasing every day. Other cryptocurrencies trying to copy it are increasing every day.
Right.
The community is growing every single day. More people are getting aware of it because anybody that understands how it works and understands how the monetary policy works in the United States just looks at it and goes, yeah, like that makes sense. I see something that's falling and failing, and I see something that's growing and stable and sustainable for the future. Right. It doesn't take a genius to figure it out, right? So it's going to be the global currency one way or another down the road. Who knows when, who knows how, but it's just, that's what it's set up for. That's what it was designed for. Everything that we've done in the past is not working out. We've said this before, the fiat currencies ignite the economy, they get them going, they make people spend money because you don't want to hold on to something that's going to lose value, so you spend it, right? But now we have something that you can hold on to.
That's exactly it too. And like, you grow up believing that you need to save money.
Yeah.
Why the fuck are you going to save something that they print infinite amounts of?
Yeah, it makes absolutely no sense.
Right?
Yeah.
It's worthless.
Absolutely
you have
garbage.
to spend your money, but you have to spend it on things that accrue more value.
Yeah, well,
right?
and the only thing you really end up hearing or grow up hearing is you have to spend money to make money, but it's always put into the wrong context. Like, to spend money to make money, you need to put your money into anything other than money, anything that'll hold value, any asset, any stock, anything like that, because over time the stock will go up because the value of the dollar goes down. That's how you spend money to make money. Borrow as much of it as you can and put it in anything that holds value. That's how people get rich, off of borrowed money.
The only way, if you want to say like something that feels like a savings account that you have to pay into monthly, get a life insurance policy.
Yeah.
Right? Make sure that you get the value back somehow, right? Because if you're just saving money in a savings account, you are not getting the value back. That is a fucking scam.
No, because you have to make at least 9% just to keep up with inflation to actually make money.
You're lucky to get 1% now.
Exactly.
And the banks take your money, they lend it out, they get 15%, and you get fuck all. Plus it's depreciating.
Yeah.
Right? So
and they're allowed to lend 90%
it's a scam.
of what they
have.
Scam. So it's like like we were talking about on a few weeks ago or whatever. It's like the money's not there.
It's a scam.
It is. It's the biggest Ponzi scheme scam that it's ever happened. But it's okay because that's how it works, right?
Yeah.
No matter what we do, old investors are going to get paid by new investors. That's just how it has to work.
Yeah.
Because that's like, there's no other way of doing it, really. But at least this way we can see on the blockchain everything's transparent.
Warren Buffett, he's like, what's good about Bitcoin? You're just expecting the next guy to pay more for it than you did. I was like, isn't that
difference?
exactly what you do with Coca-Cola?
Yeah.
Though, you know what I mean?
100%. And funny thing is that Coca-Cola and Pepsi and things like big stocks like that have dividend returns.
Yeah.
So what's the difference between a dividend return and a staking reward?
Yeah, exactly. It's
nothing.
It's fucking
dumb. It's all the same. It's much better.
Yeah.
They're doing their best to stop it because it's not the way they set up. Right?
Coke's a product. Sure, it's a product, but what's it doing for society?
Yeah.
Right?
It's actually keeping dentists in work.
Yeah.
It's making people have, keep diabetes and keeping the pharmaceutical companies in work.
Yeah.
Like, it's doing nothing but bad things for you, good things for
what does Bitcoin do for society?
Everything for everybody. Literally.
I think that's it for today.
No. Okay. Well, yeah. If you guys got any questions, drop them in the comments and we can we talk about some stuff.
If you've made it this far, do the things. Please like, subscribe if you're new, turn on the notifications, stick around with us. If you're watching to this point, you're obviously finding value in the content. Help us get it out there.
Oh, share it. Share the video.
Share the video.
Let us know what you want us to talk about in the next episode, and we'll see you there. And maybe we'll give you a shout out too, all right? So, hey, Biggs and Boggs out. Peace. Man, that was an action-packed episode. So much information there.
We're getting better.